Hi, it's Mr. Matt again. Seems to be fitting for today. I started the video and something happened. I'm not sure what's going on. Had to switch over to my phone. I thought I had those kinks worked out, but not today. Anyway, here's our lesson for today. Last time when we were talking in Matthew chapter 6, we were talking about Jesus teaching about prayer. And then we move over today to Matthew chapter 7. And in Matthew chapter 7, I think Jesus kind of adds to this a little bit. In Matthew chapter 7, he says, chapter 7, verses 7 through 11, he says, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives. He who seeks finds. And to him who knocks, the door will be open. Which of you, if his son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? So in everything, do to others what you would have them do unto you. For this sums up the law and the prophets." So I think what Jesus is saying here is, if we have faith and we ask, God is not going to be, if we ask for bread, he's not going to give us a stone. You know what I mean? And I don't claim to understand any or all of God's ways. I don't really understand it. Like, when your pet dies, something like that, like happened to my family today. I don't claim to understand the way God put the laws of the universe in order. We just live in them. Life and death, beauty and ugliness is all part of this thing that we call life. Here's Luke over here. He's wearing those earmuffs for some reason. I don't know what he's doing. But I think what Jesus is saying is that when we pray, we shouldn't be praying selfishly just for our own wants and our own desires. We should be praying that God's will is done. There's an important part of the Lord's Prayer that says, "Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." When we pray, we should be praying that God's will be done. It's about his glory and it's about his will being done on earth. We're just a part of that. We live in this universe of God's creation. Anyway, and then Jesus says, to finish up Matthew chapter 7, he says, "Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who builds his house on the rock. The rain came down, and the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundations on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who builds his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell with a great crash." In this Matthew chapter 6 and Matthew chapter 7 here, as Jesus is teaching, he gives us the foundation of our faith. And if we build our lives around this foundation, we're like wise people that build our houses on the rock. And so when you pray that God's will is the will that's being done. And build your life on the foundation of Jesus' teaching. He was God in human form when he was on earth. What better, Luke's serenading us on piano, what better way to, Luke's going to sleep now. I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, we should build our lives on the foundation of Jesus' teaching. He was God in human form. So what better foundation to build our lives upon than upon God's own words? So from my family to yours, God bless and good night.